You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody, for the Overtime, brought to you by Emerald Water Incorporated. They like to call it the Overtime Refresher. Checking the poll results of the daily poll for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. In light of the Marner allegations, do you think Mike Babcock will coach again in the NHL? On Twitter, over 65% of you say yes, he will. 18% of you say no, he won't. This is too serious of allegations by his former player. 17% of you saying not sure. And as you see on the screen, the Facebook results are very similar to that. Darren DuPont's been sitting on the sponsors couch for the last couple segments. So you've been following now the Bill Peters stuff.
Yeah.
Do you see a Me Too Harvey Weinstein thing?
Oh, yeah.
Unfolding here?
Big time. I don't think it's like I don't have an opinion. Like, well, I mean, I have thoughts, but I'm not saying it's good or bad or whatever. I mean, if he did these things, it's horrible. If he says, these things, it's not good.
Well, what did this latest player say? McGorrell or something? What's his name? A minor leaguer.
Minor leaguer in the American Hockey League, played for Rockford under Bill Peters. And, he said this has happened too. And he said, if you thought Mike Commodore's comments on Mike Babcock were bad, just imagine, wait till you hear what I would have to say about the way Bill Peters treated me. And he won like a community service award for the team when he played there. And Bill Peters is treating him this way. So here's a good player who won, an award for community service. And that's how he's being treated. I heard the N-words being spoken about when it comes to the music people are playing and, don't want to hear that kind of music and referring to hip hop or whatever. It's not good. And it is. It feels like a Me Too thing in the sense that this wasn't coming up when Bill Peters was being hired for all these NHL jobs. Nobody seemed to have an issue. Not that they didn't have an issue with it, but that's how it seems. And nobody had an issue with it when he was being hired in Carolina or now in Calgary and, Detroit as well as an assistant. But now that the Babcock stuff's coming, we're seeing an easy opportunity to pile on. But it's also an easy opportunity for somebody who maybe felt not quite comfortable enough coming out or safe enough coming out and going after somebody in a position of power who, abused that power and made them not feel so good. Now you're seeing maybe a safer space to come out and say, yeah, this happened to me too. Yeah, this happened to me. And that's where you get the Me Too kind of movement. I'm feeling it. And it's kind of just something I feel that I don't think Bill Peters is going to last the day.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. The quote that you showed me, and Frank Saravelli's got a big article on this, right, on TSN?
Yeah.
He did a one-on-one with one of these players. And so the quote from Peters, one of the quotes was, turn this end music off.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, said almost every 85-year-old man that I know, and they don't even need to be that old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are going to be a lot of guys looking over their shoulder over the next little while then.
Oh, yeah.
If this is an issue.
Man, the guy's not 80 years old.
No, he's not. No. I'm just saying. Oh, do you want to come back here? Abu's come. I'm just saying, from the older generation, you get that a ton. That's all.
My sister married a black dude, and so my dad uses certain words, but my dad's 80 years old.
And I'm like, that's why I said 80-something.
But this asshole isn't. He's 40-something. He knows better. And if it was in my neighborhood or my neighborhood, he wouldn't use it. We would have taught him the right way. Definitely wouldn't have hired his racist ass. You cannot say these things. If he said it, we would have. I mean, say it in front of me now. I'll beat your ass.
No.
Wrong.
My point was, it was the environment that he was raised in doesn't make it right. He's going to pay the price here. He's going to pay the price.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's not 80 years old. And I'm not making it an excuse for 80 years old because there's words.
But you're right.
The words and the hatred are tied, but they don't. I'm getting. I don't want to even get into this on the sports show.
But you're right. Even 10 years ago.
What do you mean? You just lept onto this to talk about it?
Yeah, because I'm quite passionate about it.
Right. But even 10 years ago, and we were like, I wasn't that young. It feels like, being 32 that, 10 years ago was a long time, but I was in my 20s. And even 10 years ago, which is when the allegations apparently come from, it's not right to say that word. It just doesn't feel right to say it. Whether you're saying it in a way that's racist or not, which I don't believe necessarily that he's saying it in a racist way. And it can be how, as an older person, even, when you're talking about your grandparents or your parents and people who are, 70, 80, 90 years old who grew up in that environment, and the N-word's just what people used. And even if you're using it to describe the music and you're not being racist, you still know that it's not right to say that word.
That's not a word that can. That's
you can't
Well,
use
so
it.
hang on. Clark's telling us right now that Jeff Merrick of Sportsnet's reporting that Bill Peters has been fired by the Calgary Flames for these allegations.
Good.
So
He's gotta watch his back,
my
too.
point is, and I will apologize right now when I brought up 80-somethings, because I don't want to say I'm anti-senior or all seniors are racist. I'm not. I'm just saying people that were raised in that environment say these things without even caring about it.
And
here's
they
Peters.
don't mean it from a point of hate. They just mean it. That's how they
that's
came.
what I was trying to say.
But it is a word of hate. It is one.
I agree, but that's the point is I am around people like this all the time. Just hang on, Darren. So now it's not cool to make gay jokes. It's not cool to make race. It's not
Never
cool.
was.
And I just got in a huge argument with somebody saying you should be able to say whatever you want, whenever you want, because the soldiers fought for the right for free speech.
And you can, but I don't have to hang out with you,
That's
and
what
you
I
don't
was
have to be
trying to
around
say
me.
at the very start of the whole show,
Yeah,
is that you can't do that
you
anymore.
Can go over there and say whatever you want.
You better start your own hockey team then, because you're not going to be able to work for anybody.
Call me a sand N, and then let's see what's up. That's cool. You can do whatever you want. I might end up in jail, but you can in this life do whatever you want. But there's consequences to what you do. And
That's my point.
I'm going to go with you, is that the Calgary Flames hired this thing. They hired him. How many ever years ago? And if you're an organization, I'm a businessman, and I know you. If you're hiring someone, they are your representative. You have to do your due diligence. You have to do everything so that you don't look like a racist scumbag. And that's what Calgary looks like right now. Now they're backtracking, saying, oh, he's fired. But they're the piece of shit organization that hired this piece of garbage.
I'm with you. And by the
So
way,
you can't backtrack on that. They hired him. They did their due diligence. They knew all this stuff. They knew the N-word.
So this
They
is
knew
on
all
them.
this stuff. This is on them. I'm sick of people trying to say it's on the other guy. That guy's a piece of trash. He's always been a piece of trash. You don't have to hire pieces of trash. There's a lot of good people out there that do good work.
I
don't care if it's your friend or not.
I will just add this. Arash Madani tweeting, how many coaches working in hockey right now are quivering with fear, worried a former player may come forward with stories about them. I don't like that, Arash, because it's not just hockey.
Don't be an
Stop
asshole.
blaming hockey.
Blame assholes.
It's
for
about
saying
racist.
stuff.
It's not about the sport. Hockey's under fire right now, and it's wrong. And I don't agree with Arash's tweet on that. You want to talk about coaches? Fine.
This Babcock and Marner thing is like worlds apart from Calgary's. Worlds apart.
Big time.
Using a tool to coach versus using a word that doesn't, and using there's no room for hate. None. You can dislike someone as much as you want. There's no room for hate.
Are we done here?
I feel like we're just getting started. Tomorrow's going to be a good day.
We're going for lunch at the Tap. Sports on tap tonight, by the way. Red Deer at Swift Current, Edmonton at Kelowna, in the SJ, Flin Flons at Melville, Kindersley at Yorkton. Again, that's Sports on Tap for the Tap, Regina's only drive-through beer and wine store. We got it. We good. Tomorrow, Michael Landsberg, Rich Sutter. I think Jared Dumba's going to be in here. I'm not sure who all else, but we're done.
Ooh, the hockey
It's a hockey
season
day tomorrow.
started.
Yeah, hockey season started. Thanks, Sabu. Thanks for and all you did. And we'll see you tomorrow here at 10 a.m. Central on Facebook Live.
You're watching Rod Pedersen on demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.